All right, guys, let's get into some charting. Let's pop off a little bit. It's been a few days since I've been on. I am dealing with some stuff with the house and stuff like that, so I'm moving to a new spot. Can't wait to get that all set up. Good to see you, my boy. I'm in a good setup right now. I'm at my homie's crib where I've been recording it for the last week or two. Hope you guys been liking the YouTube, by the way. Been cooking up, helps me get my mind right. Let's just make some analysis, make some plans, and see where we wanna look to long or look to short. I was kind of playing around that 109 level yesterday. We took a nice short around there, right here, 109.250, 109.350. We caught that top, rode it to the bottom, closed the short. I wanted 106.9, but I ended up going to bed and I didn't want to leave limits on. I was going for that sweep right there. It makes sense for where we hold. This level, if you saw in my demand video, I explained some order blocks, and that's very useful information because this is exactly what that was. This was a one-day level of demand. We came down before, swept it, before we reversed up to all-time high, printed that all-time high after that higher low print, which we've caught every single move, by the way. Granted, I've been scalping a lot, which is probably not the best move, but we're still profiting, and that matters. Now, at this level, I would like to see this high hold, which is at 111.8. I could see us going to like 128. I could see us tapping off at this blue block here, which, again, was previous demand, and I could see this being rejected at the bottom end. If you haven't watched that video, also, by the way, please watch that video on YouTube. It's a good video. I just recreated the demand video I did like years ago, back in 2021. You remember that, Guitar? We recorded that together. So yeah, now we flipped up and successfully reclaimed that deviation on that higher low that I talked about, and we caught some good plays. We caught a good long. We closed that. We caught that short, closed that. Didn't catch the relong there, but we did catch a good ETH play, and I'm going to go over that in just a second. From this point on, I think that this order block above, if we can just start reclaiming here, I think you could catch easy invalidation longs with your stop above wherever this one day wants to open, depending on if we want to close above this level. If we close above this level, then I could see us holding aggressively. So maybe go back down to retest that 109.6, go back up, tap here, and then come back down, and maybe just range out here for a bit. I'm going to point out some things of why I think we could range out for like a week. But I could see some drastic moves happening as well, where we do something like this, come back down, maybe go for that sweep that I was going for before I went to sleep yesterday, and go back up here like this. This leads into, it's more of on a daily time frame. We do have CPI coming up as well, so there's a chance we also compress, and that is already priced in, and really nothing's going to happen from there except for sharp moves intraday. So we could potentially get that like retest of this level, maybe pop up to here, reject down, and sweep here into CPI and go from there. Just some scenarios I'm seeing intraday. Not really too much to base off of. We had that sharp move down. We reclaimed and held good levels, and we came down, retested that higher low, didn't sweep down below. I do think that whatever transpires from here, whether we go to, I think we're going to go to this order block, and I think this order block is somewhere I'm going to look to short. So around this 112.6 to 114.8 level, just depending on where it is at the time. Intraday, maybe look for tighter stops. But ultimately, I think that anywhere around, I really like these highs over here. These are some good highs. I feel like anywhere here is a good buy. So I'll be just like looking for this low to test at some point if that happens. There's a lot of wild talk being thrown around and tariff stuff and all that stuff. So there's a potential we see a sweep down there. We do have this untested demand level as well in the 3 days. So there's a chance we get down there. I think anywhere here is a buy, and this is just a level that I'm going to keep in my mind. I think it's a logical level to bid. I think that if it retests, we'll sweep a good low as well, or we could potentially even hold that low just like we're seeing here where we're holding lows. We could potentially just hold that low and reverse back up. But this is more on a macro time frame, more, not macro, but more like, mid, see what happens after CPI. I wanted to flash the economic event here because I'm going to go over BTC and ETH and all that stuff. So we have CPI on Friday. My birthday's on October 23rd. Jobless claims, CPI, which got pushed back. It was supposed to be last week. That's when I thought it was. And then we got end of the month. So we got FOMC as well. Wow. Okay. So we have an eventful next couple of weeks, to be honest. We have 10 days, 11 days till the end of the close. And see where we go from there. So for ETH, I made this scenario. We caught that bottom snipe, which I really liked. I like the flip back up of, again, this order block. I took my profit here. Good scalp. I'm good with it. It is what it is. Didn't get to ride this move up. We are now holding the top end of the zone. And if you think we're going to hold, I would look to bid anywhere around 38.80. I think that would be a good bid intraday. Maybe get a push down there. Time it in with like a move on BTC down to 109.6, 109.3 intraday if that wants to be a thing. And move back up from there. I do think that, judging by like the reactions we're getting, if ETH wants to take out these highs, if ETH takes out these highs right here, first, I'm going to short. I think that it could hold these lows and potentially move back up here. That would make sense. And then intraday, maybe do something like this, where we retest the orange lines. And I think hindsight, these orange bids are the move. I've had these levels set for quite some time, so it wouldn't surprise me that this is some sort of scenario that could happen. Even though we had 2 chances to rebid it already, I still think this is a scenario, so let's see what happens. I'll put my alerts up for this. I don't think you should overcomplicate right now. We're just in a tight range right here. We're going to be in a tight range. Some crazy moves have happened. For SOL, I had this scenario. I had this limit posted, but I ended up canceling it. We swept through and took the stop, but we weren't in the play. And I always think plays like this, these order blocks, again, if you didn't watch that video, make sure you watch it. You'll learn a lot from it. We flipped this level up, and you could find good confluence and good wicks to get it in these plays on these order block flips. And this is what we're doing right now. I think if SOL wants to hold these lows down here, it could pop back up to here. I think this is a good level to look for shorts. $200 psychological resistance. We take out these highs. I think this is the logical level to look for shorts on SOL. That being said, I think that if we do go lower, maybe here, I think that's a long, and it would tie in again with that 109.3 hold, 109.6 hold, and that's if that comes. There's a potential we move back down to 108. There's a potential we could go back down to the lows at 106.9, like I was saying, which is where I'm looking to for really looking along if we go there first. ETH from like this intraday perspective, we're looking to hold these highs, and we're closing these 3 days above. It looks good. We have 1 day and an hour to close that. Thank you, sir. We're trying to accept back in to this level. If I was looking to bid hype, I would just look to bid these, like this level of demand over here, around these wicks. I think this is a good level for hype. I'll look to set limits for all these plays too as well, guys. So the analysis is here. I'm going to upload this tomorrow as well. So I think this is good intraday. I am going to be purchasing up hype as well. I think it's a good bag. We're seeing influx in the hype wars, or in the DEX wars going up, I should say. With Apex going crazy recently. I think Astra's going to catch a bid. All that good stuff. Astra looks pretty shitty right now. But let's not look too much on that. Let's look at some of these indexes really quick. Like I said, guys, I got a little bit of time right now. I just wanted to make sure I got on today, so we got something in. But for now, we're pushing into this block over here on the 1 day. Clearly rejecting, so you want to see a close back within it for a potential push back up. I do think that if we push up first, I think that's for shorts. So like I said, I do want to look to short SOL at around 200. Look to short ETH at around 41.60, 41.20. I'm gonna keep my eyes open for those areas for now. Total 2 is at resistance after putting in a weird deviation above this trend break. So it was a bearish retest. Obviously, we would track that area down. It's important to watch areas of confluence where people are looking to trade around, make your opinions, and form those higher time frame candles rather than just the lower time frame, because we have yet to create a range on the lower time frame. At least over here, we had a range. Over here, we had like, you know, a trending down range. Over here, whatever range. You could formulate, you know, more opinionated levels around here, assuming like upside breaks and stuff like that. Over here, like after we drop down, it's like we're in no man's land over here, and we have a crazy wick. So it's important to look at. Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to go over today. If anybody wants me to look at any specific charts, let me know. I'm going to just keep flicking through some of these indexes like PTCD. Look at this. Oh my God, I swear I'm a beast, bro. I drew this fucking so long ago, dude, on stream as well. I'm such a G with it. It's crazy. I just didn't look back at this for no reason. Like, look how perfect this was. I think we're just going to retest this wick, honestly, on BTCD. I think we're just uptrending. So I think alts could get hit. That's why I want to look to short. I think that BTCD is going to retest the top end of the wick. I'm going to multitask here for a second, guys, so bear with me. And in that case, I think alts are going to get wrecked, hence why I want to short. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to take a look at XRP. I got you. So XRP is at resistance like the rest of them. Judging by what you feel in the market, if you think we're going to be compressed a little bit, I think that like we're going to come down and retest this block into closing. So this is logically a good place to look for a bid, but we also have these lows down here that are so easily, like, this can get easily targeted and ran through. So I would look for more like a sweep like here if you were interested in getting an intraday bid. I think that's kind of risky though on a coin like XRP. Like I said, we have yet to really create a range. I don't think there's a rush when it comes to intraday. I think more or less like see what happens in the next few days. We could just be really not doing much because we do have CPI. But if XRP wanted to pop up to like the top end of these wicks, I think that's a good like short spot. Like if it goes there first, comes to test around these highs, I think that might be a good level to look to short potentially. And then I like this level maybe to look to long first around this wick, which would be around that low. It just depends because we have like a, I'm looking at the 3-day perspective of things. Like the 1 day is just kind of like we're pumping off of the block on the 1 day. So people were willing to rebid this level clearly. And I wouldn't look to chase that. That's already like 8% move up, 3% off the top. You know what I'm saying? I do think that if you're looking to buy XRP for the long term, I think this is like a good spot. Anywhere around these wicks. Anywhere around $2 is a good buy. All right, my family. Chainlink. Monday range still hasn't closed, so still waiting to see what happens. The monthly looks wild on so many of these coins. I'd say like if I'm looking for a play on Link, and I actually kind of like this play, would just be like this retest of demand here. The previous order block got ran through. It held. I think that if we could catch a retest down here, a Monday sweep play going in line with that, I think we could target yearly open off that. I like that as a play. So I'll keep my eyes open on something like this. I'll post it up in my corner right now so you guys can have that. I'm not long anything. I'm just chilling. It's at like 4,000. Like, that's resistance or support. I think it's going to go a little bit lower. I think anywhere in this orange box is a buy. If we do get in the blue, that's even more of a buy. And that's just me looking at the chart. Like, we could start to open levels up and see where we land. Like 36.28, 38.57. If we close below 38.57, go to 36.28. If we close above 40.80, 40.86, go to 4,300. Like, simple. Just gotta wait. Gotta be patient sometimes, you know. You know. And then ETH on the range compared to height, or what did we just look at? Link. It looks a lot weaker, you know. So I think that a retest in this orange box is not a bad play. And we're just looking at the Monday range here. This is easy stuff. Woodsbot, I have alerts for that, so make sure you get your access, guys. I know everyone should be in right now. It was absolutely free for the last like 3 weeks. Like, literally, you can like choose what channels you want to put alerts on, and just put alert for the Monday low sweeps for whatever coin you want. Works out beautifully. BNB, I guess we'll take a look at that. I'll take a look at like one more chart. I'm glad you like it, bro. That's all it's meant to do, bro. And that's without the actual AI bot that's in there. I've had this shit for 2 years, man. If I dropped a coin 2 years ago, I could have dropped it 2 years ago. Like, but I don't do that. So for BNB, I think that SOL chain is seeing something happen right now, but I think that's short-lived personally. I think that BSC, like I said, I'm looking at short SOL. I think that I can say I think BNB chain is going to go, but I think that the hype was coming back on. I think people have their money chained up, bridged, and I think they're ready to ape some BSC shitters. So once BNB gets going again, I think that BSC chain's going, which is another reason why I'm like trying to push that other coin, help out the CTO cause of that one, because if that shit could go, you might catch a fucking crazy runner. Don't even got to put too much to into that low. If we sweep the low down on the weekly, I think that's a bid. We're going a little bit deeper into demand here. We have a big, loose weekly demand level on BNB here on the weekly. The Monday range is super tight. Nothing much has happened. There's a potential we get some whipsaw, you know, very, very tight here. But ultimately, however deep you can get into this demand is a buy for me. I don't know how far it goes, but regardless, make sure you're looking for sweeps. You know, this high closure on the weekly, so that's a good area of confluence at 1050. The 4 hour should probably tell you something when that impulse happened. Maybe we get like maybe just, honestly, this level appeals to me right here. But that's where we bounced from previous. Maybe we get like a little bit deeper of retest over here. Front run people looking a bit purple. Look for like that $1,000 level. The way BNB kind of moves is slow, and I want to see what happens, but I do think that the chain's going to heat up again, personally, so that's where I'm looking towards. I also think Asher is going to pump as well. I think Crypto Native is early on it, which he tends to be, and I do think that there's no way CZ's not going to pump that shit. Especially after that shit dropped so far now. But yeah, guys. Do you guys have any questions? Any more charts I'm going to look at? I'm probably going to get off. I got to do a whole bunch of packing and shit. Fucking all that stuff. But all these limits I'm going to place when I see fit. I'm just waiting on some things. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for hopping on our late night stream. I will have this posted up for you tomorrow in the morning. Appreciate you guys for coming by. I'll make sure to get on another one this week. Let's keep killing shit, keep moving, and grooving. Peace, guys.